This is a nice jungle. Hello everyone. Ramadan Kareem. Look, in the holy month, who I have got for you all. I have got a special guest all the way from the land of Jungle Book. And today he is going to read the story for all of you. Hurrah! Baloo, 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 can you read the stories for our lovely children?
Okay, sure, I will.
Hope you will enjoy.
He's a man, a man, a man, snarled the pack, and most of the wolves began to gather around Shere Khan, whose tail was beginning to switch. Now, the business is in your hands, said Bagheera to Mowgli. We can do no more except fight. Mowgli stood upright, the fire pot in his hands. Then he stretched out his arms and yawned in the face of the council. But he was furious with rage and sorrow, for, wolf-like, the wolves had never told him how they hated him. Listen, you, he cried. There's no need for this dog's jabber. You have told me so often tonight that I am a man, though, indeed, I would have been a wolf with you to my life's end, that I feel your words are true. So, I do not call you my brothers any more, but sag, dogs, as a man should. What you will do and what you will not do is not yours to say or decide. That matters is with me, and that we may see the matter more plainly. I, the man, have brought here little of the red flower which your dogs fear. He flung the fire clod onto the ground, and some of the red coals lit a tuft of dried moss that flared up, and as all the council drew back in terror before the leaping flames, Mowgli thrust his dead branch into the fire until the twigs lit and crackled. He whirled it above his head among the cowering wolves. You are the master, said Bagheera in an undertone. Save Akela from death. He was always your friend. Akela, the grim old wolf, who had never asked for mercy in his life, gave one piteous look at Mowgli as the boy stood all naked, his long black hair tossing over his shoulders in the light of the blazing branch that made the shadows jump and quiver. Good, said Mowgli, staring around slowly. I see that you are dogs. I go from you to my own people, if they be my own people. The jungle is shut to me, and I must forget your talk and your companionship. But I will be more merciful than you are, because I was all but your brother in blood. I promise that when I am man among men, I will not betray you to the men as you have betrayed me. He kicked the fire with his foot, and the sparks flew up. There shall be no war between any of us in the pack. But here is a debt to pay before I go. He strode forward to where Shere Khan sat, blinking stupidly at the flames, and caught him by the tuft on his chin. Bagheera followed him up, in case of the accidents. Up, dog, Mowgli cried. Up when a man speaks, or I will set that coat ablaze. Shere Khan's ear lay flat on the back of his head, and he shut his eyes, for the blazing branch was very near. This cattle killer said he would kill me in the council because he had not killed me when I was a cub. Thus and thus. Then, do we beat dogs when we are men? Stir a whisker, Lungri, and I rammed the red flower down your gullet. He beat Shere Khan over the head with the branch, and the tiger whimpered and whined in an agony of fear. sing, Jungle Cat. Go, now. But remember, when next I come to the Council Rock, as a man should come, it will be with Shere Khan's hide on my head. For the rest, Akela goes free to live as he pleases. You will not kill him, because that is not my will. Nor do I think you will sit here any longer, lolling out your tongues as though you were somebody's instead of dogs whom I drive out. Thus, go! The fire was burning furiously at the end of the branch, and Mowgli stuck right and left around in a circle, and the wolves ran, howling with the sparks burning their fur. At last, there was only Akela, Bagheera, and perhaps 10 wolves that have taken Mowgli's part. Then, something began to hurt Mowgli inside him, as he had never been hurt in his life before, and he caught his breath and sobbed, and the tears ran down his face. "What is it? What is it?" he said. "I do not wish to leave the jungle, and I do not know what this is. Am I dying, Bagheera?" "No, little brother. That is only tears," said Bagheera. "Now I know you are a man, and a man's cub no longer. Let them fall, Mowgli. They are only tears." So Mowgli sat and cried as though his heart would break, and he had never cried in all his life before. "Now," he said, "I will go to men, but first I must say farewell to my mother." And he went to the cave where she lived with Father Wolf, and he cried on her coat, while the 4 cubs howled miserably. "Will you not forget me?" said Mowgli. "Never while we can follow a trail," said the cubs. "Come to the foot of the hill when you are a man, and we will talk to you, and we will come into the croplands to play with you by night." "Come soon," said Father Wolf. "Oh, wise little frog, come again soon, for we be old, your mother and I." "Come soon," said Mother Wolf, little naked son of mine, "for, listen, child of man, I loved you more than I ever loved my cubs." "I will surely come," said Mowgli, "and when I come, it will be out to lay Shere Khan's hide upon the Council Rock. Do not forget me. Tell them in the jungle not to forget me." The dawn was beginning to break when Mowgli went down the hillside alone to meet those mysterious things that are called men. Kaa's hunting. All that is told here happened some time before Mowgli was turned out of the Seeonee wolf pack, or revenged himself on Shere Khan the tiger. It was in the days where Baloo was teaching him the law of the jungle. The big, serious, old brown bear was delighted to have so quick of a pupil, for the young wolves will only learn as much of the law of the jungle as applies to their own pack and tribe, and run away as soon as they can repeat the hunting verse: "Feet that make no noise, eyes that can see in the dark, ears that can hear in the wind in their lairs, and sharp white teeth. All these things are the marks of our brothers, except Tabaqui, the jackal, and the hyena, who we hate." But Mowgli, as a man-cub, had to learn a great deal more than this. Sometimes Bagheera the black panther would come lounging through the jungle to see how his pet was getting on, and would purr with his head against a tree while Mowgli recited the day's lesson to Baloo. The boy could climb almost as well as he could swim, and swim almost as well as he could run. So Baloo, the teacher of the law, taught him the wood and water laws. Here's a small illustration you can see. So Baloo, the teacher of the law, taught him the wood and the water laws. How to tell a rotten branch from a sound one. How to speak politely to the wild bees when he came upon a hive of them 50 feet above ground. What to say to Man the bat when he disturbed him in the branches at midday. And how to warn the water snakes in the pools before he splashed down among them. None of the jungle people like being disturbed, and all are very ready to fly at an intruder. Then, too, Mowgli was taught the stranger's hunting call, which must be repeated aloud until it is answered whenever one of the jungle people hunts outside his own grounds. It means, translated, "Give me leave to hunt here because I'm hungry." And the answer is, "Hunt then for food, but not for pleasure." All this will show you how much Mowgli had to learn by heart. And he very soon grew tired of saying the same thing over 100 times. But as Baloo said to Bagheera one day, when Bagheera had been cuffed and run off in a temper, "A man's cub is a man's cub, and he must learn all the law of the jungle." "But think how small he is," said the Black Panther, who would have spoiled Mowgli if he had been his own way. "How can his little head carry all your long talk?" "Is there anything in the jungle too little to be killed?" "No. And that is why I teach him these things. And that is why I hit him very softly when he forgets." "Softly? What do you know of softness, old iron feet?" Bagheera grunted. "His face is all bruised today by your softness. Ugh. Better he should be bruised from head to foot by me, who love him more than he should come to harm through ignorance," Baloo answered very earnestly. "I'm now teaching him the master words of the jungle that shall protect him with the birds and the snake people and all that hunt on 4 feet, except his own pack. He can now claim protection if he will only remember the words from all in the jungle. Is that not worth a little beating? Well, look to it. Then you do not kill the man-cub. Ha ha ha. He is no tree trunk to sharpen your blunt claws upon. But what are those master words? I am more likely to give help than to ask it." Bagheera stretched out on one paw and admired the steel blue, ripping, chisel talons at the end of it. "Still, I should like to know. I will call Mowgli, and he shall say them, if he will. Come, little brother." "My head is ringing like a bee tree," said a sullen little voice over their heads, and Mowgli slid down his tree trunk, very angry and indignant, adding as he reached the ground, "I come for Bagheera, not for you, fat old Baloo." "That is all one to me," said Baloo, though he was hurt and grieved. "Tell Bagheera, then, the master words of the jungle that I have taught you this day." "Master words for which people?" said Mowgli, delighted to show off. "The jungle has many tongues." "I know them all," he said arrogantly. "A little you know, but not much. See, O Bagheera, they never thank their teacher. Not one small wolfling has ever come back to thank old Baloo for his teachings. Say the word for the hunting people. Then, great scholar." "We be of one blood, you and I," said Mowgli, giving the words the bare accent which all the hunting people use. "Good. Now, for the birds." Mowgli repeated with the kite's whistle at the end of the sentence. "Now, for the snake people," said Bagheera. The answer, it was a perfectly indescribable hiss as Mowgli kicked up his feet behind, clapped his hands together to applaud himself, and jumped onto Bagheera's back, where he sat sideways, drumming with his heels on the glossy skin, and making the worst faces he could think of at Baloo. There, that was definitely worth a little bruise," said the brown bear tenderly. "Some day you will remember me." Then he turned aside to tell Bagheera how he had begged the master words from Haiti, the wild elephant, who knows all about these things, and how Haiti had taken Mowgli down to the pool to get snake word from a water snake because Baloo could not pronounce it, and how Mowgli was now reasonably safe against all accidents in the jungle because neither snake, bird, or beast would harm him. So, this was part 6, and that's all for now. But I, as Baloo, have two very special things for you all. So first, I have a riddle. So for the riddle. So let's say you were given two choices. The first choice was to relieve $1 million USD straight up front, in front of you. Or you'd either take that, or for 30 days, you get 1 penny on the first day, 2 pennies on the second day, double that amount on the third day, and going on for 30 days. So an example would be 1 penny, 2 pennies, 4 pennies, 8 pennies, 16, and I kept giving you this on an increment of a day for a month. Which one would you rather choose? Well, at first it might seem quite simple. Of course I'll choose the $1 million. Pennies can't add to that much. But you'll find that you should actually choose the penny going for a month. Because if you add that all up, you'll get 11 million. Anyway, now for the fun fact. Did you know if you took a piece of paper and folded it 42 times, it would be as tall as the distance between the Earth and the Moon? Anyway, that's all for now. This was a special treat. If you keep hearing the audiobooks, I will come again. Bye for now.
Thank you, Baloo. Thank you, Baloo. I'm sure all the kids enjoyed. Bye-bye. End of part 6. Now, Ramadan Kareem. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.